How's it going, you wonderful people? It's Jay, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how Nintendo could learn from the failures of the Wii U when it comes to creating a brand new successor to the Nintendo Switch. What? The Nintendo Switch is doing incredibly well, over 103 million units sold, making it the most popular Nintendo home console ever. It has no signs of slowing down, and in the previous video we talked about what Nintendo could possibly do for an upgraded model, a Switch Pro or even a Switch 2. Will they support 4K video? Will it be upscaled? Will it be something completely new? Who knows what Nintendo will be brewing up in the future, but one thing is for sure, they need to make sure they learn from the failures of the Wii U. Oh, the Wii U, the console that divided so many players. It was a console that sadly didn't do as well as Nintendo had hoped, coming off the back of a magnificent golden era of the Wii and DS. Historically, Nintendo had been able to build up a range and release new generations of hardware without a hitch. Back in the 90s, the Japanese gaming giant amped up the power with the Super Nintendo, or the SNES as we like to call it. The Game Boy ended up getting a colour and an advanced range, both easy to understand for consumers. These are new consoles. And then came this, the Wii U. In theory, Nintendo should have been able to do exactly the same, release a brand new console off the back of a golden era and rake in the cash. It was Nintendo's first HD console with gorgeous graphical leaps, from Super Mario 3D World to this stunning Zelda Wind Waker HD remake. There was just nothing wrong with the games, they were really highly rated, with some of the best releases that have since made their home on Switch. But what let down Nintendo was the name. I even remember really clearly the console's reveal at E3 2011. I was so excited to see what Nintendo was going to do. The lukewarm applause from the audience and Reggie trying to really push the concept out to the crowd gave the system a really challenging start. Nintendo had swamped the original Wii with accessories. You had balance boards, you had Wii zappers, Wii wheels, and even the Wii remote in itself. And then came this, the Wii U gamepad. At a glance, most consumers would probably think it's just another accessory for the Wii. Even game journalists who had covered Nintendo and the industry for years had to ask Nintendo, is this a new console or a new accessory? Back in 2013, the late Nintendo president Satoru Iwata told investors that Nintendo have not been able to solidly communicate the product value of the Wii U to consumers yet, which has been a grand challenge. The advertising campaigns really didn't help Nintendo's cause either. They made a lot of effort to ensure back compatibility with Wii accessories, which did help players get off to a solid start without breaking the bank. But TV ads ended up showcasing a mix of Wii remotes and the gamepad. Without really googling the whole thing, it pretty much just looked like an add-on. The console had great games, but it just deserved better marketing and a better name. Nintendo really struggled from the outset. In a recent poll that I conducted on Instagram, 75% of you pretty much said that the name was okay or you didn't like it. Only 25% of people liked the name Wii U. Are consumers even ready for a new console? In another poll that we conducted, 43% of you felt that 2024 would be the right time, 24% felt 2025 was right, and 20% are looking to 2026 and beyond. Only a few of you really feel that 2023 is right, and by that, it looks like most of you just aren't ready to put those Joy-Con down just yet. But you know Nintendo, the company has invested a lot of money in improving their development flows with a new 12-floor centre to house even more brains on their campus. Despite working on Switch games, there has always been eyes on the future. What next? What future consoles should we work on? What hardware? What controllers? What's being brewed up behind closed doors? Speaking to investors earlier this month, Furukawa said the transition to a new hardware is a major concern for the company. How could Nintendo avoid making the same mistakes coming off the back of a golden era of sales and new fans? In the same interview, Furukawa said, while we will still continue launching new software on the Nintendo Switch, we will also provide services that use Nintendo accounts and other IP outside of gaming software. We intend for this to help build a lasting impact for our consumers. Nintendo have always been a little bit mixed, should we say, when it comes to online presence and accounts, making strides with the Wii U and possibly taking a few backward steps with the Switch. Is it worth Nintendo bringing back something like Miiverse? For those of you who don't know, Miiverse was a dedicated social media network on the Wii U. Players could draw, post, and share updates on games. A real bustling community that was truly special and very much Nintendo in feel. In another one of our polls, bringing back something like Miiverse was actually pretty mixed. 58% of you were in favour, and 42% felt that maybe it's had its time. No matter what Nintendo decides to do with its services, it needs to be consistent. One account, one username, and one network that just works. Online play has admittedly improved with games like Mario Party Superstars, but there's still room for improvement when it comes to preserving these old games for the future. Games you've bought on Switch digitally have to be accessible going forward. Nintendo's decision to shut down the Wii U and 3DS eShop earlier this year shows they still have a long way to go when it comes to understanding consumers. So what form should this next console take? Nintendo's decision to create a hybrid is arguably part of the big success of the Switch. From the very first reveal trailer, it just made so much sense. That Wii U problem was solved in 30 seconds. You play at home, you pick it up, you continue anywhere. 2 built-in controllers and a sleek, lightweight form. In our poll, an overwhelming 87% of you feel that it should remain a hybrid going forward, with only a small number hoping for a traditional home and portable split. So on to that final and most important part, the name of the new Nintendo console. It's incredibly important. The elevator pitch to over 100 million Switch users wanting to possibly upgrade. Should Nintendo call the thing a Super Switch? A Switch Pro? Maybe even something that completely different? The solution? Of course, ask the fans, the consumers, people who would actually buy this thing. In our final poll, 35% of you felt it needs Switch in the name, with almost 40% leaning towards an entirely new name. Only a small number of you felt that a Switch 2 or Super Switch would work. With that in mind, Nintendo have a big challenge ahead when it comes to planning that eventual successor to the Switch. Going by how things are going at the moment, they have a good 2, 3, maybe even 4, 5 years to go before they really have to ramp up that marketing and say that this is a brand new thing. So there we go, brand new Nintendo hardware coming up, hopefully in the next few years. Who knows what Nintendo have in store, but let's hope they don't repeat the same mistakes they made with the Wii U. The Switch is a stepping stone to even more success for Nintendo. Long may it continue. So what did you guys think of the Wii U? Was it a success? Was it a disaster? Was the name part of that problem? Was the marketing part of that problem? Let us know your thoughts with a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more geeky, more gaming, more Nintendo, more retro videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. This is really weird. And before you move on to the next video, be sure to check out our exclusive merch, Geeky and Gaming Designs, voted for by you. Links are below. A big thank you for your support. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!